I feel like that's wrong.
Thirsty. I have a girl code that I think everybody will
He
probably
can't
agree
like.
with.
I don't care if it's a picture of the dog on the page.
What
Nobody
you
better
gonna do though?
like
Like,
me.
I feel like you should look at it like I deserve this. Yes, this is my money.
Hi guys, welcome to the Melanated Opinion. I'm Takara.
I'm Melissa.
I'm Crystal.
I'm Shanita.
And today we're going to talk about dating stories. So we have some crazy ones, we have some really good ones to share, a little bit of everything. So who's going to go first?
I volunteer not to go first.
And I volunteer not to go first too.
Okay, I'll go first. Okay, so I guess I was talking to this guy, and we were over his house just chilling. I just wasn't feeling it. He was snoring really bad, and I snore. So like for me to even say that about someone, it had to been like over the top. Just saying that because I definitely snore, but it was just too bad. So I ended up leaving, and so like after that, he just kind of kept like blowing on my phone, and I was like, hey, I don't want to talk to you. He wasn't hearing none of that. So he kept trying to like, meet up again and all that. And it was giving really crazy stalker because like he literally would not leave me alone. He would text me several times a day after he gets no response. So after a while, it died down, right? I get a text from this random person telling him, hey, it's yada, yada, yada. I have no idea who this person is, and I can tell it's a fake number and it's a fake picture. So I was like, where I know you from, and I can see that he's making up stuff because the stuff don't even match up with what I did. Like, I have no idea who this person is, and I knew it was him. And so I said, sorry, I don't know you. Text again later on, same picture, different name, the exact same. I said, hey, who's this? I guess he forgot he used the picture or what, but he used the same. He used the same picture. And so I just like fake like I didn't have the thread still because it was still on the same number, like literally. So I fake like I didn't know who it was just to see if he was gonna lie. He lied, said it was a different name. And so it's just like at this point, I'm like, I'm gonna have to get my number changed because he won't leave me alone. And so I told, I was hanging out with another one of my guy friends. He was like, see, that's why y'all women single today because y'all can't tell when a man like y'all. First of all, that's not like. That's stalker, crazy, psycho. I don't even know what to call it. And it was just like, imagine if I would have got into a relationship with this man. He can't even take no for an answer. So, I mean, I ended up changing my number, by the way. He can't find me no more.
Okay, stalker. Anybody else have a stalker story that they want to share? I mean, I think we went over one time before. But I have a stalker story that I can share. So actually same guy from the last story. One time, like right after we broke up the last time, he actually I went out with my homegirl and just to go out, and later on come to find out, he told me he drove around the entire city looking for me. He was like, I figured you were at a club, and I went to all the clubs, but I could not find you at any club, right? I went to a club that was like a hole in the wall that was more for like older people. So he would never thought to go there. So the reason I know he was telling the truth is because as the story goes on, he said, I saw you when you got home. I could tell you everything that you had on, and you had something in your hair, like a little bow or a flower or something. Like, and this was late at night when I got home. Like, I don't know where he was at when I got home, but he was literally like somewhere outside in the bushes. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that was my stalker story. And if y'all hear this, people, like, use that as a red flag for real.
Right. I have one similar. I met the guy where at the time, and I remember telling him what street I lived on, but I never told him where I lived. And so one day we were just talking or whatever, and he would always ask to come over, and I always tell him no. So one day he's texting me, and he was just like, "You part crooked," and I'm like, what do you mean? And he was like, you park crooked, you outside. I'm outside. And I was like, how are you outside where I live? And he was like, it's da 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 da. He was like, look out the window. I bet you see you park crooked. He was in his police car. So I guess he looked up my address or whatever. And he came while he was on the clock and literally was in like my parking or whatever. And I'm just like, that was very stalkerish of you. And he was just like, nah, he was like, I mean, it wasn't hard to find. You said you live here. So, but I'm like, I never told you the name of the apartments. I never told you. I just told you where, like, part of the city I stay in. So basically, he got mad because I called him, and it made me uncomfortable. And so he went back and told everybody that working with to try to make yourself look good, that I was the one that was crazy and I'd be making stuff up or whatever. So yeah, but he was outside and I'm like, how can you do this and you own the clock? He was using their database or whatever to get not female.
I feel like even if you would have said something to somebody, like he wasn't really gonna get in trouble for that. Like I don't think anybody would have cared enough to even be like, well, don't you do that anymore? Like I don't even think he would have gotten
scary.
That is scary.
So I have one to share too. So I was talking to this guy and we stopped talking and he got in a new relationship and he wouldn't stop calling me. And my whole family knew that he and I were not talking and that he wouldn't stop calling me. So I was on the phone with my sister. And I had, at the time where I lived, I had an intercom system. And when I was talking to her, I hit the intercom system and he was at my door. And so my sister, you guys don't know my sister, but she don't play no games. And she lived like 5 minutes down the street from me. So her, my cousin, and my cousin's husband got to my house in like 5 minutes and it was about to be a show for real. So eventually he did leave, but that's the story on that. Like there's so much more to it, but yes, I've had
What did he want
to deal with crazy. Just to talk. It was always just to talk.
Well, quick question. So like after you know, they came and tried to like handle him, did that like get him to calm down?
He didn't just show up at my house anymore. He did other things.
Okay.
But the calls were like constant. Like I even had him saved in my phone as do not answer because at the time I don't know that you could not, like, I don't know that I knew how to like block a number, just like a single number. Now I know how, but this was years ago. And so he was saved as do not answer. And I actually still have the phone that I had, and every blue moon I'll go look at it and I can see where he's called like 30 times in a row and it literally says do not answer.
That's crazy.
That is super.
Okay, that just reminds me. So do everybody have like, or at one point block the guy and like put a do not answer as his name?
Definitely blocked.
But have you changed the name to do not answer?
No, because I think ever since we had phones, from what I remember, we could block. So I just did that.
Do y'all have like any other names that y'all have used besides that? Like
yes, Grubhub.
Wait, what?
Grubhub, because he bought me food.
Oh wow.
Oh my.
It depends on how I feel. Like I would change it to that song, Profile, Liar, Cheater. I had that on there.
Wow.
I pray for him. It just depends.
Yeah, I'm there with you. It was one that I had. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was something like, you know, like you can do better. Like when it rung, like I would see I could do better. Or something like that, just to make me realize, like, do not answer this phone when this person calls you. They're not good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I have a story. Like when Melissa was talking, it reminded me of a story that I had. So I was riding with the guy, and we were passing by where I stay at. And so I waited till I got past where I stay at. And then I said, oh, I stay back there. So then we get to the next red light and he says the name of the street out loud so that he will remember where I stay at. I said, what? Like, who does that? I'm thinking I'm being slick by not showing him exactly where I stay at. And he's trying to make himself remember, like, kind of where I'm at. And I was like, okay, I'm not doing this ever again. Because I didn't.
Oh, wait,
I'm like, I didn't tell you where I stay at for a reason. I mean, not that anything was wrong with him. I just wasn't ready for that.
So how long, I guess, do you go out with someone before you let them pick you up?
It depends on the person. So it depends on how comfortable I am with them. Like, what is their personality type like? So it depends. All of that depends on me. Like, we're gonna like meet up at somewhere mutual for a while. And if I feel comfortable with you, like I may even, jump in the car with you and go ride around or whatever, blah, blah. But it really depends on how comfortable I am with the person. What about you?
Yeah, it's about the same. And not just, you picking it up. It's gonna be a while before you come in the house. Because I was dating this guy, and I mean, I really kind of liked him or whatever. But it just seemed like the moment I let him come in, it was a whole different story. Like that's when I saw that he wasn't as clean. It's just like I hate to do him like this, but he kind of had an and it just like when we would be in the car, I can kind of, it's like it smelled sour. And what I realized was happening was he takes once a day, which is nothing wrong with it. But if you take a bath once you get off work, just say at 5:00, that's going to be your whole bath entire day all the way to 5:00 p.m. the next day. So it's not like he's taking a shower and then he's going home or whatever and just, lounging around the house. Like, no, you go out and you do stuff, you get sweaty, you go to bed, you don't take another shower. So it's like all of that kind of add. And he was the type of person tell him anything. So even when I would try to hint certain things to him, it just like he gets so angry and frustrated that I just say forget it. Like one day I was talking about his breathing and I was actually concerned. And so I told him, I was like, if you want me to go to the doctor with you, I will. He got up, put his shoes on, which they shouldn't have been off in the first place, put his shoes on, grab his keys. And I'm like, where are you going? He was like, oh, I thought you said you wanted me to leave. I never said that. I said, if you want me to go to the doctor with you, I will. So he gets offended and go leave. So I'm like, I never told you had to leave. So that's just his horrible. But he had good things about him too. Like he would come, eat with me. Like he'll spend his whole lunch break and mine. And just treat me out and do things like he wanted to do different things. But I couldn't get past the nastiness.
And speaking of that, like when you told that story, it made me think of something. For one, that means he knew if he reacted like that. And two, I was gonna say, I was going out with this guy too. And we were going on dates, just kind of the beginning of us talking. And it was in the summer though. And he had a smell. He smelled, and I didn't. Let me tell you, Shanita, this is the only time I really won't say nothing because I really do feel bad. I just couldn't say nothing to him. He smelled. And, it was probably because he was bigger, which is fine, but that you need to take care of yourself, though. That's no excuse. And it's just like, why would I even want to do anything with you? And you smell like this while I couldn't. And so I ghosted.
Well, I ain't gonna say I ghosted. Like, I guess because I want somebody to tell me. So I would try to tell you. Now, I didn't tell him he smelled sour, but I would hint around and be like, yeah, I sweat a lot, so I take 2 showers a day or something. But, I want to be sweaty. Like, I put it on me thinking he'll like catch the hint, but he never did.
Sometimes you have to be direct with people because when someone tries to tell me something, if I don't want to hear it, I act like we're talking about some type of fictional person. If they do not say Crystal, or if they're, just saying something about themselves and I know they're throwing a hint to me, I ignore it because, like, if you were talking to me, you would call my name. Like, let's not be playing this game. So, point was, sometimes people don't get it intentionally and unintentionally. So maybe you have to be more direct.
I'm like, some things you shouldn't even have to be direct about. Like, when you sit down, when comes up, so it should be known.
And plus, we were taught to be nice, so it's kind of like I'm trying to be nice and not hurt this person's feelings, but it's kind of like I can't even do it because my car is kind of small. So when I was smelling that, it was like it wasn't really many places for it to go. The smell to go. So yeah, that was an experience.
One time I did date a guy who had his feet did smell really bad. And I don't even know, it wasn't even all the time. I don't know if it was when he wore certain shoes or certain socks or whatever, but I never did say anything, which is kind of surprising for me because I always am okay with saying something.
So what did you do? You just let it slide?
I just let it slide.
Did you ghost him or you kept talking to him or what?
Which again is a surprise for me because I don't usually let things slide. Because it wasn't all the time. It was just random, like out of nowhere.
I mean, that's really interesting, but I guess we can go ahead and move on to the next segment, minding other people's business. So, did y'all see Jim Jones? I believe he was on a podcast and he said his mother actually showed him how to French kiss. And he said she actually showed him with her mouth. What do y'all think about that?
Nasty. That they was proud of it?
I want to let y'all answer, then I'm going to say what I got to say.
So French kiss me with the tongue.
Right.
So, this, let me say, I feel like he said he was playing, but let's say he was not playing, right? That is like incest, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I don't really have a lot to say on that because I feel like that's already, you already know that's problematic and that's incest. What about, like, even if he was playing, what about to have that as a joke? Do y'all think that?
I don't know that I could joke like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why not use an object? Like a potato head or something. You know, you could have used anything, but for you to can say you did it yourself. How long have you been thinking about that? Did you have emotions behind it, or was you?
I don't.
And to add, I've heard that his mother actually likes to argue with Chrissy, whoever he's with or was with. She likes to argue with her a lot. So with that being said, like what that came off as, like, you know how some mothers actually date their sons, like they raise their sons to be their man. That's why they always argue with who they're with. And it was kind of like, that's what it gave right after I heard, about this. I was like, yeah, it's giving really, she's trying to date her son.
So do you think Mama D would do that? Because she used to argue with Erica a lot too. With Scrappy, little Scrappy.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, I don't know
who that is.
Like, I do know, like, when a husband gets married, a lot of times the mother-in-law is kind of like, it's kind of iffy if she would get along with the daughter-in-law. So it makes me wonder, is that part of the reason that sometimes mother-in-laws don't get along with the daughter-in-law? Because it's kind of like they see them as more than a son. It's almost kind of like, I don't want to say it's like their boyfriend, but there's
a word.
Attachment.
There's a word for it.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, it might be because at the end of the day, sometimes they don't have a father figure in their life. So if you don't have a father figure, she's raising her son. Oh, well, you got to be here for mama. You got to do this or whatever. So it's like you kind of take the place of their man. So maybe that's where some of that twisted emotion come from, because they're putting them in a more adult role instead of the child.
Right.
I was gonna. I was gonna say that there's a word for it. I want to say it's like, oh God, I don't want to make up a word, but it's like idiom something complex. And it's where there's like an inappropriate like attraction or connection or something between, I want to say it could be a parent and a child, or it could be a mother and a son. In my mind, I feel like I remember mother and son, where they have like you said, this connection, and it almost makes it hard for them if they have a partner, for the partner to come in and be able to have her place because the mom doesn't, allow for her to, make decisions, or, the mom is always has input on things that really have nothing to do with her, to be honest.
To
And
me, that's,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, to me, that's kind of just, I don't know, it kind of shows like a lot of mothers that, argue with their son's girlfriend or wife for no reason. I feel like a lot of the times that's the issue, because he always ends up taking his mom's side, whether she's wrong or not. And he never, like, mom, that's wrong. Like, you're not gonna do my wife like that. That a lot of times those type of men, I don't ever see them speak up for the wife.
Or get married, because like I said, I don't know if they ever got married or not, but they've been together for so long. Like, she ended up proposing to him, trying to, I guess make him marry her. But if a guy don't want to marry you, he's just not gonna marry you, whether you propose to him or don't. And you still gonna have those same issues.
Yep, that's true.
Okay, guys. So, are you ready for the letter this week? Okay. So, just one second. This person wrote, "Hey guys, I am interested in changing jobs. I've been at my current job for some time now. I love the people and I like the work. However, it's no longer challenging to me. I would like to move forward and try something else, but at the same time, I'm super comfortable here and fear the unknown. Can you guys give any advice? Should I stay or should I go?"
I would say go, definitely.
Right.
Because when you get to that point, you're gonna be happy. It's like something already telling you in the inside, like your time is up or you're burnt out and you're not being your best self. So that could just be a way to get you a comfort zone that you have been in for years, and either you're gonna go willing, or something's gonna happen and it's gonna push you out anyway. So I feel like once you start getting those feelings, because I personally have been there myself, then it's just time for you to go, because you're not going to be beneficial to the company or yourself.
Yep.
I
And
definitely. You go.
also wonder if there's a way that this person can move up in their current job. Like, are there other positions where they can think about moving around so they're still there, but they're doing something different, like learn a new skill. Maybe if there are options there, then maybe also look into that, also try that. But I agree with everything Shanita was saying. Plus, don't let fear stop you, because just ask yourself, do you want to be in this same situation in 5 years? And if your answer is no, then that lets you know what you need to do, and you have to do what's best for you, fear or no fear.
Yeah. I think, on the other side of fear, right? If you actually make the leap and have faith in the decision that you're making to move forward, you're probably going to be pleasantly surprised, because one, you are going to challenge yourself, and anything that is worth having, you're likely going to have to get over a little bit of that fear in order to be able to get it. So I think it could only benefit you. You've been with your current company, you have a good track record. So, it's likely that the next place you'll go, you'll have a good track record there too. So it sounds like you just kind of need to step into that decision with confidence.
I definitely agree with everything y'all said. I would definitely say if you feel like you need to be challenged more, go ahead and seek for something more challenging. And like my mom said, if you would like to move up in the company, you need to let them know you want to move up. Like, be very vocal about it. Like, hey, is there anything open for me to go into? And I think that would definitely help. And I think you should take risks as well. It's okay to take risks. I know it could be scary, but it's definitely helpful if you take risks, though. Okay, and if y'all don't have anything else to add, thank y'all so much for watching today's show. If y'all want to send us a letter, please email us at themelanatedopinion@gmail.com. Today we kind of talked about, our dating stories. Let us know if you have any of your own. And once again, thank y'all so much for watching.